Marker.
Hi, my name is Andrew Dunn, and I will be talking to you about outsourcing. One of the driving factors for our current economic recession is due to the outsourcing American jobs to non-American workers overseas. What is outsourcing, you may ask? Outsourcing is the contracting of a business process to another party. It is a process of subcontracting used heavily in United States corporations. U.S. corporations send jobs that could belong to Americans over to the other countries for lower wages. There are pros and cons with outsourcing, but the pros do not outweigh the cons. Some of the benefits of outsourcing are cheaper production and wages. In other countries, they do not have laws for minimum age requirements and also have cheaper minimum wages. For example, in China, one of the biggest countries the United States outsources to, the minimum wage is $1.19. That's about 85% less than what it is in the United States. Outsourcing also occurs when a company is dealing with producing a product they do not normally deal with. In this case, they would send the product or the schematics for the product to another company who may have the machines or the mass production line to do it more efficiently and for much cheaper. When a company is making the decision whether or not to outsource, they also think about how long and how much money it would take to train an employee to do that same job. Outsourcing cannot always be so beneficial either. Hidden cost is one of the biggest downfalls of it. An outsourcing company can tell the producing company how much it would cost to make a said product, but might leave out how much shipping and packaging would cost. These kind of hidden costs can also happen when the company is behind on making the product. They could do things like just not make enough of the product or make the other company pay for overtime to catch up on the production. You would also not be able to control the quality of the product as easily. Many outsourcing companies have multiple customers who they are working with at one time. This can make for slower production, higher prices, and more hidden costs. If a company is paying a little more per item, then they might get a better product or might even get their product first before other companies. Shipments can also be a big problem. Like I mentioned earlier, most outsourcing occurs out of the United States. This means our overseas shipments are very important. What if there's supposed to be a delivery on Monday, but there's a huge storm and that gets pushed back to Friday? Well, then the company just missed the deadline, which could be a huge factor for them. While unemployment rates are down in the United States from 2010, it is still almost at 6%. That is 18.1 million people that are employed right now. That is an unbelievable number to me. Some of the biggest outsourcing companies are ones you might not even think of. Walmart and IBM are just a few of the biggest companies. But some companies also make an effort to try and help these unemployment rates. Companies like Ford, Starbucks, and the Coleman Company try and keep everything local to the United States. The CEO of Starbucks said, "Though it is more expensive to manufacture this mug in the United States than it would be in China or Korea or Mexico, this is what we need to do." Thank you. Any questions?
How does a company decide if it's to their benefit to outsource?
Well, the company would first look at how much the production would cost them compared to how much it would cost another company to do the same amount of work. If they find out that that another company could do it for cheaper, then they would go to them because maybe they'll have machines for the mainline process or just people who are more skilled at doing that process.
I was thinking of our local high school who outsourced the cafeteria work.
Well, for like a local company like that, they would do it because of things like retirement, insurance. They wouldn't have to pay as many people to do all that work. They could just pay 3 people, 4 people to prepare all the meals in the morning rather than having 15 people to actually like by hand make everything. So like they would, like for example, hash browns, they would just get them in from another company who could buy 2 tons of potatoes for a lot cheaper than the school would when they wouldn't need that as much potatoes, but then they could also have the machines to make the process faster and more efficient. Any other questions? Thank you.